Ooh, wee! Them galactic streets is getting hot. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we're coming with another wonderful episode of, that's right, Talk Shop. We're getting into comics. We have some very cool stuff to get into. It's all about space. It's all about fighting. It's all about weird weapons and stuff. And that's Galactic Core. And the first thing I want to get into with this book is how you get dropped into the middle of a chaotic galaxy, a galaxy kind of after, or maybe in the aftermath of a galactic war, but they paint this picture and kind of like in this situation where everybody's kind of on edge. You have this galaxy that has just gone through this situation, and the streets are still hot. The galactic streets are still hot, and you get the idea that maybe everything isn't settled after this war. How it's like, okay guys, the war is over. I don't think everybody got the memo. And the reason I say that is because when we start out, we find a young princess on the run, and she's on the run from a very large ship that's just right behind her. She's trying to escape it, trying to hit hyperspace and all this stuff. And it's very reminiscent without biting from a lot of sci-fi, from a lot of, like action type stuff. And, of course, she's on the run, but she's by herself. She's on her own. It's her and the ship. She's talking back and forth. And you get this nice dialogue about what the ship can do, kind of like the power, that it's able to output what it can take. So inside this conversation, we get a lot of world building of just the machines inside this galaxy, which is something that I think is a very nice touch, because this is a book that moves fast, but without losing you. Because there's a lot of books that might move fast. You'd be like, hold up, well, what's going on? It moves at a pace that's quick, but they let you learn along the way. You get an idea of who these people chasing her are. You get an idea that she's a princess, but possibly a fugitive, maybe a prisoner of war. You get this, kind of intrigue around her, while also learning about this world that she's coming to, about the people that are following her. And it does a very good job of kind of keeping you up enough without tipping their hand of the story. We get into of course, a crash landing where she's faced with all of these raptors, and we find out that she's a warrior princess. She gets to show off her moves, and the art is solid. Like, wrapped around this dangerous situation where you're already intrigued. Who are these people? Why is she being chased? Is she the good guy? Because she might not be. Just because she's a warrior princess doesn't mean she's the good guy. But, if she's not the good guy, what is she fighting for? What is she running from? Why is she running from it? What's her goal? What is her safe point? And we are just as frazzled as she is. And she becomes kind of like this way into the story for us. And it is done very well, man. The art is definitely on point, because when she gets into the fighting situation on the ground, we see someone who's confident, but who is definitely worried because their back is against the wall. And it's places like this where we learn more about the Watu, the Raptors, Wicked Force, all of these things that play into the information that we receive while getting into this fight. And I've got to give them props for having something that keeps a level of intrigue, keeps a level of action, keeps a hurried pace, but without losing you. And I really dig this part of the book where they shine, man. They definitely come through. Now, I got some stuff to get to after the jump in just a second, but right now what they have set before us is this beautiful tapestry of Afrofuturism, of amazing art, and a story that you're automatically dialed into, and it is definitely a fun read. Now, I'm gonna get to some action stuff in a sec, because your boy loved that action. But first, of course, Cure Brand gonna help us pay them bills. Oh yeah, check the link below. Hat, shirts, hoodies, all that jazz. And once you find something you like, of course, cop it. So let's get into the action. You know, your girl's down on the ground. She had a crash landing. Raptors are coming after her. She don't know what to do. They start using the wicked force, and we don't know what that is. I'm sure we're going to get to it later, but she's being overpowered now. She's outnumbered. She can't hold it down on her own. And of course, as you know, as these things go, someone comes in, steps in to save her. And it is the Galactic Core. And normally you'd be like, oh, here comes the cavalry. But this is a cool cavalry. I mean, we got Raybird, we got Indrum Zero, we got Nanobite, we got Fusion, and most of all, Genesis. And when you see these guys fighting, just, it's cool. Everybody has, and of course, this is no different than anything else. That's why I think they use the tropes and the kind of like themes that we're used to keep us comfortable in the story because they're moving so fast, but they're all cool. They all look very cool and they all get to display their powers, of course, through these panels that are well placed, like, look, the way these panels are laid out on some of this action is just cool. It's imaginative. Takes me back to kind of how they used to do panels in the 90s where you would have these wacky shapes and all kinds of stuff, but still very intense action on the screen. And I know this is a comic book, it's on the pages, but it's on the screen because I got the digital copy, so it's on the screen. You know what I'm saying? And it is well worth the read. It's well worth the watch to see these guys do work. Now, of course, you got the Raptors. You always need your kind of like mindless drones to just beat the heck out of, but they look menacing, and you see that they are menacing. These aren't just like some Power Ranger putties. These guys actually, when they use the wicked force, these guys are pretty formidable. And the Galactic Core comes through, or the G Core, you know what I'm saying? G code. But anyway, the G Core comes through and it is just fantastic to watch. It took me back to a kind of a childish, you know, a childish feeling of just seeing a cool team show up and save the day. Very fun, very cool, moves at a very quick pace, so a quick read, but I'm gonna read this again. I really enjoyed this. I love the sci-fi. I love Afrofuturism. I love seeing the black folks just looking amazing and all kind of like just cool and laid out in their own garments, but with just the tech feel to them. I love the intergalactic travel. I love the battling. I love all the cool lasers and stuff. This joint is definitely right up my alley. And big shout out to Twitter, because Twitter is where somebody brought this up to me to go on and check out. So guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you. Down in them comments, let's talk about Galactic Core. Are you up on it? Have you read it already? Are you part of the creative team? Jump down in them comments. Thank you if you are part of the creative team for this book. Really enjoyed it, had a ball. And if you haven't checked it out, definitely consider hitting that link below because it's free to read and I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll really dig it. So before I bounce, I want to tell you guys to head up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. And head up to shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. Don't forget to get one for them players. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right, there's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, your hyperdrive should not be located in the rear of the ship. That's a bad idea. Peace.